Well, it was a game of two halves again, and not quite such a nice outcome, however, this time. My name is Stephen Dawes, this is Palace to the Core. Don't forget to subscribe for all the latest Crystal Palace news, views and reviews. And today I'm talking about the Everton game. So if you haven't seen it, do take a look at it and come back and see what I have to say about it. So there was a change. We had Lerma in the back, and it was in place of Chris Richards, which I wasn't entirely sure about at first, but actually watching the game I felt he actually did alright, actually, apart from a couple of areas, but I'll talk about that. So there was only the one change. Still had Kamada and Wharton in the middle, who you know, and I said in my preview video that I think that should have been either Lerma or Hughes, but it was still Kamada in there with Wharton, and no start for Sarr. He was still on the bench. Now I said that in my preview video that this would be a difficult game, and I really did believe that. I thought it would be tough, but I thought we would have enough about us, we'd have enough quality to get a result. First half, I felt that we were playing okay. You know, we seemed to have more of the ball. Well, we did have more of the ball than Everton did. We seemed to be able to pass it around quite well. Everton were allowing us the space to do that, which obviously helps, and it made it a little bit easier for us to play our game, which is what we were trying to do anyway. And I felt during that first half we had a number of chances, and I thought that we didn't take them. And we took the one chance which resulted in the goal, which is a lovely little kind of near post flick thing by Mark Gahey. But I felt that there were other chances that we had that we should really have put away, and that's been a bit of our issue lately. That we've got some very talented strikers. They don't seem to be able to put the ball in the back of the net at the moment. Now, whether that's a little bit of chemistry between them or not, I don't know. I mean, you know, Eze and Nketiah and Mateta to some extent seem to be playing well together. They seem to be forming a little bit of a partnership there, which is good. But we weren't really taking our chances, which I think was a problem. Well, I thought it was a problem, and it certainly did cause us an issue later on. But in the first half I felt that we were playing okay. Still too many missed balls, still too many balls going awry, you know, passes not making their target, and I think some of that might be because they're trying to play quickly. You know, Oliver Glasner wants them to play quick, high tempo football, and I think sometimes they're thinking before they make the shot or they make the pass. You know, rather they're not thinking, they're just making the pass and not actually thinking about where the player's going or where the player was or anything like that. Wharton is very good at knowing where the players are, so I felt that he had a better game than he had before. But there were players such as Lerma who had a really good defensive side to him, but his passing at times was a little bit off. So and that didn't help, because obviously that then gave possession back to Everton, which is something that we didn't really want to be doing. And I felt in that first half we should really have scored a second goal at least to put the game to bed and to take the confidence outside of Everton. Now, of course, going into second half, I knew that Everton were going to try and come out a little bit faster, a little bit harder, and they did. To their credit, they came out and they battled really hard. They upped to the tempo. They got into our faces and stopped us passing. Everything that we tried to do to teams, they were doing to us, and that's happened a couple of times this season. I've noticed that, you know, teams, in order to counteract what we're doing, are doing what we're doing to them. So they're increasing the tempo, they're closing down really quickly, and it's putting us off our game. And it's something that I said last season. You know, Oliver Glasner, even though managers knew him and obviously they research how he plays his teams, he was a bit of an unknown, and the team was playing in a very different way to what they're playing under Roy Hodgson. So of course, when they were meeting us, they were perhaps a little bit shell-shocked by what we were doing or what we were trying to do, and I think that might have been one of the reasons why we did so well at the end of last season, because we were playing a way that a lot of other teams hadn't quite expected. But this season they seem to have got the measure of it, and they've realised that if they up the tempo themselves and play us at our own game, we don't seem to be able to handle that very well. At least that's my opinion, but obviously I'd love to hear your thoughts on that as well. Second half, was completely different. We came out, and as I said, Everton were very up for it, very high tempo, pressing the ball, and it led to the first goal, which was a mistake. I think a little bit of a mistake from our point of view, and it was a goal that I think we shouldn't have conceded, but it was a good goal. I mean, it was a well taken goal, and at that point, if not slightly before that point, we kind of lost control of the game, because Everton then were on the front foot. They were making all the passes. We were chasing them down, trying to get the ball off them, which we didn't really do very much of. And then they managed to get the second goal, which I think was not necessarily against the run of play, because I think Everton were playing a lot better by that point, and that really killed the game for us. I felt that Oliver Glasner said that we looked a little bit, nervous, and I think that was right. I think we were nervous, because I think that we were trying to get back into the game, trying to re-find that focus that we had in the first half, but because Everton were being so high energy, we weren't able to get into our rhythm again, and that's what caused us to play out the rest of the game in not a very good way. We weren't very good at all in the second half, and even though he brought on players like Sarr and Schlupp and things like that, and Will Hughes, to try and get the game back again, which he's tried before, it didn't work this time. And that is my concern at the moment. That, I mean, we conceded 2 goals, which we haven't, defensively we've actually been quite strong, and I think that it wasn't necessarily the defence's fault. I think Lacroix had a really good game. I think I'm really liking him. Every game he plays, it looks like he's getting stronger. He's good in the tackle. He's good at, chasing the ball down. Gahey had a really good game. I felt that Lerma had a good game, despite the fact that he doesn't really like that position. I don't think he played really well. I think Munoz and Mitchell did okay. I don't think they did too badly at all. Munoz, I think, was trying his best, and I think that it was that middle two. It was Wharton and Kamada that I think didn't work for me. Now, Kamada, I think, had a decent game in terms of his passing. Some of his passing was really good. It wasn't that necessarily. It's just the fact that we need a bit more steel in the middle. I said we should have had Lerma or Hughes in the middle. I would have started with Hughes. Now, I know that Hughes is liable to a card or two, which might have been the reason why Glasner didn't start him. But I think we needed a bit of that metal in the middle. I don't think Kamada is strong enough in the middle there to command it. Hopefully Doucouré will come back soon, but I think until then, I think we probably need to have Hughes in the middle there to make those challenges and stop the ball going through so easily. And that was the problem I felt, is that I'm gonna say that we looked like we didn't really understand what we were supposed to be doing. First half, because we had a lot of time on the ball and we had a lot of space, they gave us quite a bit of space in the first half. We were playing it, and we were playing quite well. But I think as soon as a team starts to push us and starts to put pressure on us, we tend to lose our momentum, and we kind of panic a bit, and then it all goes funny. And I think that's the problem. I don't think we've got the confidence to really do that. And I'm wondering whether it's because, we've had a couple of games where we haven't managed to kill the game, or we haven't managed to, we've gone behind early on. I'm wondering whether the team are starting to lose confidence now in the way that we're playing. And, you could see that Oliver Glasner was quite frustrated by it all when he said that, 15 minutes changed the game. And I think it was more than that. I think it was Everton changed the game, and we can't seem to, as I've said before in other games, we can't seem to counter when people do the high press and the high energy that we do to other teams. We can't deal with that ourselves, and that's the problem I think we've got at the moment. So we've got Chalobah to come back, and I think he may well make a difference. But in terms of others, Doucouré can come back. Frank at some point is going to be in there. We don't really seem to have anyone else who's going to make a big difference to the team. And I sat there thinking, surely Elise can't be the only reason we're playing like this, not having Elise. I know Elise is a very good goal scorer and has scored some very important goals for us and he's a very good player, but surely not having him can't be the reason we're playing like this. There must be other reasons. I think part of it is Kamada. I think Oliver Glasner's trying to find a place for him, and I don't think it's quite working out at the moment. I think that he's probably not entirely sure what his best team is at the moment. So, he's chopping and changing. I mean, he said that so many changes at the back weren't necessarily a reason for the defeat. But I think it obviously doesn't give teams confidence, does it? Anyway, that's my rant. That's what I think. I think, players in general played okay, with the exception of the second half. I think when we lost our momentum and we lost a little bit of our confidence. Let me know down in the comment section what you think about this game. Do you think that Oliver Glasner can turn it around? I mean, I did see on Twitter a few Glasner out tweets, which I think is premature. But what do you think? Do you think that he's going to have the ability to turn this around again? Let me know down in the comment section what you think, and I'll see you next time.